Alright guys, it's that time again to check out the numbers of players on all the servers. Now I have all the servers, we're good to go, and so it's Monday, I'm doing the check, and then on Fridays I'm going to do a video on the meta-analysis over all the servers. Now that I'm able to see their brawls and stuff, I can talk to you about what people are using in PvP, and I think that'll be really fun going forward. But first, we're going to start with Korea. We have Artemil with 1421, which is way more. All these are going to be way more than last week. Like I said, last week was one day of the month, and people had to play on that one day to be considered on it. And I know there's tons of players that only play on the weekends, especially it's summer, so they can't do every single day. So I don't think everyone was going to be counted. So we have 1421, and then Korea Alsharian 1164. So about 2500, a little over 2500. Then we actually have to go this way. I did it kind of backwards. NA West. Annabelle 2055, actually better than all of last month. I think it was 1600 something of all of last month. West Annabelle, NA West Annabelle is actually getting a little bit livelier. Going forward, I am going to have a chart on my Discord with a list of all the numbers as we go week to week. So we can actually see the trends as we go. Then we have NA East Katarina with almost 2,000, 1878, the biggest of the Easts. Valajul 1459, second most, I believe. Yeah, and then Taor actually not far behind at 1349. So for all of East, we have almost 5,000, which is doing okay. And then with Annabelle, we have about 7,000 players. Then EU, we have Talasha, which has 9,300. Oh boy. And then the self-proclaimed more PvP EU, Liebly, which is almost 10k, which is pretty good for these ones. It's interesting to see because we have the three regions for global. We have EU right here, and then we're going to see a trend that JP, Japan, is very similar to the Korea and NA numbers, where when we get to Asia, they go hog wild with the number of people. So, you know, really close to 20k people in EU. JP Tiana, 2,666. And then Nephesis, 3,021. So, you know, about 6k, which is roughly the same size. I think it was roughly the same size as NA East. So NA, if you count West, is bigger than JP. And then you also have KR, which is the smallest of all of them. Then we have, so what's very interesting is, unfortunately, it's not the biggest number, but Vertihil is becoming widely known as the bodder server. This is the server that a lot of people bought on and sell accounts. You'll see LD, 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 LD. All of these accounts have tons of LD4s, LD5s, and it's a little ridiculous. And they're not even the biggest server, but we'll see 11,566. Lupinus, 6,572. So as we see, there's obviously a couple LD5s right there, LD5, but I'm not too into the whole buying, selling account stuff. But like I said, I do hear mostly about Vertihill being the one that people go to. Lupinus, not so much. As you see, the numbers kind of reflect that. 6,572. This is probably roughly the actual player size. But the one that you never hear about for the whole botting and stuff like that, but has a ridiculous number, almost 16,000 for Ariel. Ariel going pretty crazy. This LD is free. This guy, super lucky. But we got, and through all of Asia, we have 16, 22, uh, close to 34,000. And then the second biggest would be EU, which was, about 20. So Asia and EU are really the ones kind of holding us on, whereas NA, KR, and JP are all roughly about the same size, which I think is kind of interesting. KR is the smallest. Then you have NA and JP, which are kind of neck and neck for size, which is super interesting. I would like to see how these things go forward, because especially this next week is going to be interesting, because today is the start of the first siege, and then it'll be super interesting to see if that causes a resurgence of players. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Are we going to see an uptick of players with this? We also know there's several big changes coming, like the level 80 cap for monsters and summoners, a bunch of big things in the future. Let me know if you think that's going to change these numbers at all. Until next time, guys.